Brian Fritz, Tony Mejia, ProBasketballNews.com. We just got done watching the Orlando Magic beat the LA Lakers here at the Amway Center. Pretty convincing win for the Magic tonight. The Lakers had all kinds of shooting problems, especially in the first half. Tried to get back in this one late, but they just couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was a game where Orlando was plugged in, not necessarily from start to finish because both teams played ugly basketball, but you could see the defensive intensity was there from Orlando's standpoint. And the game was really lost very early, 6-minute mark. Dwight Howard picks up 2 quick fouls on Andrew Bynum. Bynum's got to go to the bench. Pau Gasol has to come in and guard him bulk of the rest of the first half, and he clearly was one of those players gassed at the very end. There were a lot of Laker fans that were kind of second-guessing Mike Brown's decision to keep his regulars in against Miami when the outcome looked to be decided. The Lakers made a big run there late, but it was mostly cosmetic, and it affected them tonight. And again, I think with Andrew Bynum, a missed opportunity because he really wanted to show that he had reached Dwight Howard's level and didn't really get a chance to do so.
Before we get back to the Lakers, let's talk about the Magic a little bit. Another good quality win for them. No Hedo Turkoglu. He was sitting this one out, second night in a row with back spasms. You saw some good contributions from a lot of different guys, especially Jameer Nelson, to go back on track. Stan Van Gundy talked to the postgame about how, especially in the fourth quarter, they ran all the offense through him. He seemed to bounce back from his game, and good performance by him. They need him to step up his game. J.J. Redick, Ryan Anderson, both hitting some quality threes, and then Dwight Howard, once again, being the Iron Man, playing 45 minutes, 21 points, 23 rebounds, and you're talking about the last 4 games, a guy that's played around 162 minutes.
Yeah, and, he's one of the few big men that you don't concern yourself with overextending because he has been an Iron Man, and he does seem to have a boundless resource of energy.
Yeah.
And so, Stan's going to ride him. They'll have a couple of days off here before they get back in action, and really, that was the difference. Gasol was gassed, and Bynum was on the bench half the time. The Lakers' ball movement was decent, better than it was against Miami, but nobody could hit shots. And they're going to struggle with that. I mean, that they've been struggling with that for the last 3, 4, 5 games. The mood in the Laker locker room was befuddled, quite frankly, just frustrated, upset with missing so many open looks. Certainly not a championship feel in that locker room. And it's a situation where they're playing a rookie in Darius Morris, major minutes that would be going to Steve Blake. He's in charge of getting guys into their offense, that secondary offense, to give Kobe Bryant a break. And, they can't get anything without Kobe in the lineup.
Right, especially on the road. They've only got 1 game so far. They've really been struggling, especially offensively on the road. They can't find the rhythm early on. And in a game like tonight, they found open shots, even though the rhythm really wasn't there for their offense the first half, but they did miss a lot of open shots, and it's something that I think they're finding rather incredulous because these are guys that have played on world championship teams, and now they're not hitting open shots, and then you've got a problem with your bench. You're not getting any production out of there. Metta World Peace was expected to be the go-to guy offensively off the bench, and here's a guy that has struggled for the past few weeks, didn't even get to play in the second half of this game.
Right, and I thought when he was out there with the wrong personnel. You had Andrew Godlock and Darius Morris running in the backcourt. Pau Gasol, who's trying to keep pace with Dwight Howard, and all of a sudden, Metta World Peace thinks that he's the first option and running the break and taking shots that he shouldn't take. And Mike Brown is still trying to figure out his rotations with LA, but at this point, he's got to recognize personnel better. And I think that Kobe going 40 points per in 3 consecutive games, now you kind of see that was out of necessity because nobody else has it going. He did a nice job facilitating tonight. Magic were running a second body at him almost at all times, and he would swing. The ball would get reversed ultimately to a wide-open shooter who would miss. Troy Murphy, you can't double off him normally. You could double off him tonight. Lakers bench was terrible, 4 for 18 in total. And again, especially when you're on the road, you need that secondary contribution that you're not expecting if you're going to get out of buildings with a win, and they went over Florida.
And everybody expected to see the big matchup between the big men, the guys that have been involved in all the trade rumors, Dwight Howard and Andrew Bynum. Half of it showed up. Bynum was plagued with foul trouble from the get-go, and he was a guy that after the game I thought was really frustrated from a standpoint of, they thought, or he at least thought, that the offense was going to go through him a lot more, that he was going to be the second option. He won't flat out say it, but you could tell he's a guy that is wondering, why am I not getting more touches? It seems like a lot of the offense that he's getting is still going to be something that is kind of secondary. It's more of offensive rebounds and things like that. And I think that he's frustrated with the entire offense, obviously, like everybody else is, but I think he would like to get more touches as well and be a little bit more of an offensive factor to say, go through me, let's see what I can do, lean on me a little bit more when we're struggling.
I thought he versed it that he did not get touches early on, and first play of the second half, they got him the ball inside. He drew a foul on Howard and scored, and he wondered out loud why they didn't do that in the first half. Again, I think it was a situation for him where he was really hyped to go at Howard, understanding that they're linked, that they might be traded for each other down the road. Certainly the atmosphere at Amway Center expected that. I thought it was the most jacked up a home crowd has been all season. Howard, you could kind of tell, was more locked in, less friendly right out of the gate. No big hugs for anybody. No love for Kobe, no love for Bynum. And then they tipped it off, and the Lakers couldn't do anything offensively. And again, Bynum rightfully frustrated. He didn't get touches early. I don't know if that was by design. I don't think it was. And then the two fouls came quickly, and that was all she wrote for Bynum's ability to hang with Howard. And this, their only regular season meeting. They'll see each other again come All-Star game if both are healthy.
Yeah, and both expected to be starting in that All-Star game when that does come about. A couple other quick notes from around the NBA tonight. The Knicks lose again. They lose in the home floor. They lose to Milwaukee. Carmelo Anthony with a big night, but they couldn't stop Brandon Jennings. Defense is a problem, and I think the Knicks still suffer from an identity problem.
Yeah, I read that Carmelo Anthony said that Milwaukee came in and punked us, quote unquote, and said that you can't compare the Knicks prior to his acquisition from Denver as to now, because they had 5 starters, hinting that they don't have a point guard. New York's point guards went 5 for 20 tonight. That's Tony Douglas, on down. Mike Bibby got some run tonight. He couldn't do anything. The rookie Iman Shumpert played. And again, you're not going to beat teams when Carmelo's jacking up so many shots. Amari did his part tonight too. But again, Brandon Jennings punishes the Knicks whenever he gets a chance to, because they could have drafted him and didn't. San Antonio lost a tough one tonight against Sacramento, a game that they weren't emotionally plugged into from the start. Probably still wearing some of that toiling from the overtime game that they won here Wednesday night in Central Florida.
Yeah.
So.
And the other thing that stood out to me tonight is the Boston Celtics. They lose again. They were really, really struggling. No Rajon Rondo tonight, and you can see that it's hard for everybody else in that team to really pick it up, especially from an energy standpoint when they don't have Rondo, because he is their everything right now. He gets the offense going, but he is their energy guy. He gets everything going, and even with them in the lineup, they were struggling without him tonight. You could really see that lack of offense. It was a low-scoring game. It was a struggle throughout for both teams, including the Suns, but the Suns got a big effort out of Marcin Gortat, and they got just enough from everybody else to hand the Celtics yet another loss.
Yeah, I mean, it was a situation where right out of the gate you knew they were going to be in trouble. Rondo's been their engine, and Avery Bradley not equipped to be a point guard in this league just yet. They had to go with him for over 30 minutes and couldn't get much going. Yeah,
interesting start for the NBA season. You can really start to see, I think a lot of teams don't want to admit it, but you're going to see some tired legs out there. Everybody has to go through it in the NBA. A lot of teams trying to struggle through it. You can really start to see that playing out right now.
Mike Brown admitted it. He said it was a factor in both losses. And again, nothing to do but go on to the next game. That's Kobe Bryant's philosophy. He wasn't saying much in the Lakers locker room, but he did relay that.
Yeah, and for the Lakers, they go back home for a game, and on Sunday night they'll take on the Indiana Pacers and see if they can get back on track. They've been much better on their home court, and they hope to get that effort going again once they return home. We'll have plenty more news. Keep it dialed in right here on the website. For Tony Mejia, I'm Brian Fritz here on ProBasketballNews.com.